So being able to return the balls as they come is a skill that a lot of people need to learn regardless of gender. Okay, that sounded a bit wrong, but you get what I mean. In this video, we are going to go through some green flags men look out for in a woman. The answers were collected over at my Instagram stories, so if you don't want to miss the next poll, remember to drop me a follow. First green flag, we have emotion stable. Yeah, I think emotion stability is very important for men because we don't like to deal with drama. Yes, of course, we understand that there will be times where you will be angry at us, and we know that we do stupid things sometimes. We do accept that. And what we look out for is the maturity and emotion stability to at least want to talk about what you have been angry about after your anger has subsided. Because we are not mind readers, we need to know what the problem is and we can work on that. So yup, emotional stability is very important. Kindness is a virtue that I think is often overlooked, especially in today's society, and it applies for both men and women. And I think kindness is something that you can feel from your heart, whether the person is really sincere and kind or not. Sometimes it can be as obvious as when the person you are dating tells you, oh, I want to build orphanages, I want to do a lot of volunteer work, but he or she is rude to the waiter. That itself is a red flag. But most of the time it's more subtle and you have to talk to the person and understand them more before you can really find out whether this person is as sincere or as kind as they make out to be. Because all of us want to portray the best form of ourselves. The good news is a lot of us have that sixth sense when it comes to whether this person is sincere or not. So yup, learn to trust your gut. Next green flag, being able to carry herself in a conversation. So I think this applies as well to both men and women. We are getting a lot of neutral answers here. Yeah, we don't want boring dates. I think having good conversation skills is very important, especially in today's society. Think of conversation as a tennis match whereby there needs to be back and forth and you don't want any one person dominating the conversation. So being able to return the balls as they come is a skill that a lot of people need to learn regardless of gender. Okay, that sounded a bit wrong, but you get what I mean. The best tennis matches have a lot of back and forth, volleys and whatnot. So as much as tennis fans love this kind of matches, people love this kind of conversations. Offering to pay for the date. Now I've talked about this many times. I think the guy has to pay for the date, especially if it's the first one or if it's an important event like Valentine's Day. But what is equally as important is the girl offering to pay at least her half of the date. The keyword here is offering, because if you don't even offer to pay for your half, it will seem like you are trying to take advantage of the guy, especially if it's the first date or you barely know each other. So at least, make the offer to pay for your half. Or if you really like this guy, offer to pay for the next date so that the guy knows that he has a chance with you. Flat and slender. Finally, we have someone that talks about physical traits. Now, as much as we want to say beauty is not skin deep, we men are visual animals. And I think for most men, looks do play a part. It's not so much about you being drop dead gorgeous, you have to put on full makeup and whatnot. It's more about how you present yourself, whether you make the effort to look the best you can for him. The effort counts, right? And being visual animals, most men will have a type that they go for. Some like this person prefers flat and slender women, and some others might prefer more volume in the woman they are looking for. So if you're wondering if all men have a type, yes we do, and I believe all women have one too. The next green flag is laughing a lot. So one of the best ways to gauge whether the date is going well or not is looking at how much the woman is laughing. In case you haven't got it, the more she laughs, the better the date is going. So a tip for men, if you think that you're not funny enough and you don't think that you can make women laugh a lot, keep a story bank. So whenever something happens and you think it's funny, write it down in your phone, because not all of us have pen and paper on your side, but we do have our phone with us for most of the time. Write down what happened and why you think it was funny, and keep it in what I call the story bank. You don't have to read your stories every single day, but time to time, read your story bank to refresh your memory, so that when the appropriate time comes, you can easily draw from your story bank, retell the story to the person you are dating, and make her laugh. Because stories are one of the best ways to engage another person, so having a story bank will definitely help. Compliments, we men don't get that much. It sounds sad, but it's true, right? Because when men mix with men, we tend to not compliment each other. It sounds weird. Like when we meet a friend, we are not going to say, "Hey, that shirt looks good on you." But when women tell that to each other, it seems perfectly normal and you kind of expect it to happen. I think there's nothing right or wrong about it, it's just the different ways the genders communicate with each other. So the point is, we men don't get enough compliments, not from our friends, and if we work in a toxic work environment, we don't usually get it from work as well. So if you meet an average man that doesn't get enough compliments in his life, and you give him that few compliments in a date, you will stand out to him. The good thing is, as a woman, you already know how to compliment people, so you just need to add in some sincerity in your compliments and the man will feel good about you. Okay, the last one is letting me be myself without judging. I think there are two layers to this response, and I'm going to go through both of them. On the surface level, you can say that being judged is like not being complimented from the previous point, in the sense that men do get judged very easily in their everyday life. Their income, their spending power, the way they dress. So what a lot of men want is a comfortable environment whereby they can be themselves and they don't get judged for that. But of course, as men, you do need to upgrade yourself, learn to dress better, improve yourself so that you have better earning power, so that you can attract better women. So don't be too afraid of getting judged, because it can be a motivation for you to improve yourself. And on a deeper level, this is for those who always think that men don't like to reveal their problems to you, or tell you their problems, or tell you what they really think. This fear of judgment can wreck a man's confidence and his ability or willingness to talk to you about their problems. Like what I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, one of the man's greatest fear when he talks about his problems is getting judged. So if you want a man to be more open about his problems and what he's really feeling, don't judge. So once he knows that he can talk about his problems openly without you going at him, it creates a safe space for him to talk more about his problems and for you guys to solve it together. So yep, if you want your man to talk more about their problems, hold your judgment. So those were the responses I got from men when they talk about the green flags they look out for in women. I know I drifted off quite a bit to talk about other topics, but I think it helped, right? At least I hope it did. So once again, a reminder, if you don't want to miss out on future posts, remember to drop me a follow on Instagram. With that, thank you for coming to the end of this video, sending you lots of love. See you in the next one.